Hey, this is Suma Zhao, and you're listening to the Get a Life podcast. What a bother. Come on, Bish, do I really have to do this?
Well, if you don't want me to tell Summer Sure that you've been eating his meat buns.
Alright. Jeez, calm down.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Get Life podcast. Last week, I don't know what episode it was last week because there's actually a kind of problem with me uploading episodes. I did actually record a lot of episodes. So you won't be hearing this episode I'm recording now until like June or something, which is a bit weird. But there you go. This episode is actually recorded in April, which is, kind of far away from June. So some information may be outdated, but I don't think it will be, mainly because of the topic we're talking about. But I will say what that is later. So last episode, I think we had Keiji Tang, the voice of Suma Zhao, and the voice of Kenshiro, and also the voice of a couple other characters in games such as I forgot what game, that DS game that everyone's talking about, that Awakening thing. I don't even know what that's about. He was the voice of Jan Lee in the Dead or Alive series, and and a lot of other games, but I'm really not going to mention them. So this week, I decided to go a bit different. And we're going to talk about Vocaloid, and I know people will be like, oh man, really Bish, I don't really like Vocaloid. Well, if you don't like Vocaloid, that's fine. You don't necessarily need to watch this episode, but it would be good if you did and kind of learn more about it, because it is kind of awesome. And to talk about Vocaloid, I got a special guest. Introduce yourself.
Hi guys. Zombie.
Yeah. Now, if you guys don't really follow him on Twitter or subscribe to him on YouTube, this guy pretty much does gameplays like Project Diva, like extreme perfect stuff, and doesn't necessarily. This will be the first time many of you be like hearing him, like from the Twitter community, from the TK family. This is going to be the first time you will actually hear his voice, which is kind of awesome. So people will be like, "How do you know that's Zombie?" Well, genuinely, we don't know. Yeah. So how can you prove yourself, Zombie, that you are actually Zombie?
Well, I don't know. I can just say follow me on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube and everything. So yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks for that advertising.
You're welcome.
See, this guy has the nerves to do that shameless self-advertising, but that's all right. Anyway. So you can follow him on Twitter, as we said, at ZombieDesu13. Where did that name come from?
Well, I was like a huge fan of zombie movies and games also, and I was also, and I'm still a fan of Japanese stuff, and so I thought like, it would be cool to call myself just Zombie Desu, and 13 is like my birthday date, and I was like born on a Friday the 13th, so it's kind of special for me. So I call myself like that.
Wow, that's born on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, you can look it up.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, but then I'm not gonna murder you.
How are you so sure? We don't know.
Well. I know how those things end.
So yeah, guys, if I'm not on next week, you'll know why. Yeah, just saying. But but what we're really going to talk about is Vocaloid, and how you obviously got making Vocaloid videos and got into it, and pretty much we're going to talk about what Vocaloid is for people that don't know what it is. And I think we should be talking about Project Diva as well, but that's going to be a little later on. So mind explaining what Vocaloid is for the viewers that don't necessarily know what it is?
Well, Vocaloid is a voice synthesizer which you can produce music with, but also like it's not a virtual voice, just like you don't have to pay extra money for a singer, you can just buy the product and you can produce awesome music. But it's also used in the Project Diva games. Yeah.
Now, many people would see Vocaloid and they don't necessarily understand it, so they're like, "Oh man, this is just a computer making music." And I was actually talking to them recently, they were like, when I actually tried to describe what Vocaloid is, they're like, "Well, that's just for lazy musicians." And I was like, what? That really doesn't make sense. It's more of a tool that you can use instead of... You think about it like that, it's more of a tool rather than a robot. It's like using a guitar to play a piece, or playing a piano. Vocaloid is kind of like an instrument more than anything. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because I wouldn't describe it as anything else, to be honest. But it's like the characters and the voices, the different voices, they're like being turned into fictional characters, and those are real personalities for some people, and they actually worship them. So I think it's also kind of cool. It just shows how the technology advances and on, and yeah, I like that stuff.
The thing I don't actually necessarily agree with is that people idolizing anything. Do you know what I mean? Like specifically for like maybe a game or Vocaloids. Like, I don't like that when people think of them as some sort of king or whatever. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of takes away their purpose, because their purpose was to entertain. Now, I don't see how something that was meant for entertaining can be put into that kind of position. Of course, there's people think in different ways, and I can't actually necessarily judge them, but what do you think on that?
Well, it depends on the producer of the songs. Like, if they make a PV with the character being a queen or whatever, just like in With Mine, for instance, it's like, I guess either they want to make like really catchy music, or they want to show they're the queen or king or whatever, or they're just having fun with working with Vocaloid and everything,
Another thing about the Vocaloid software is that we know it was kind of made by Yamaha Corporation, but then there's Krypton Future Media. What did they kind of introduce to this whole Vocaloid thing?
Who, Yamaha?
No, was it Krypton? Was it Krypton Future Media? You know them? The guys that do Miku and things like that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, Krypton made Miku, Len, Kaito, Meiko, Luca, and all those, basically all the Vocaloids who are in the Project Diva game. Well, because like, Gakupo, I think that's how you spell his name in English, because I don't know. Gakupo or Gumi aren't in the Project Diva games, so basically only the Krypton Vocaloids are being put into those games.
Why aren't they in the game? Are they from Yamaha side, or?
I don't know, like, yeah, they're from different companies, but I would have to look it up, because I don't know that like from mind or anything, because I'm like, I only know those Vocaloids, but I mostly don't know which company they come from. I think internet, or yeah, I really don't know right now. You could call me like shabby, but that's the truth.
Another thing is that Hatsune Miku.
If I know her.
I'm not saying you know her in real life, but you know of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be a bit weird knowing Hatsune Miku in real life. What do you think? Because over in Japan, she's kind of a big deal. Let's just say, she's on billboards, she's in advertisements, and all of these kind of things. She's pretty much portrayed everywhere in Japan, and pretty much, I would say, majority of Japan's population know of Hatsune Miku. So why do you think over here in the United States, in the UK, in Europe, why do you think Miku isn't as popular?
Well, mainly because Vocaloids themselves aren't being advertised enough in the United States, for instance, or Europe. So you only have like those pop singers here, and that's all people need these days. I think they don't. I personally think people aren't interested enough in other countries' cultures, and that's what it comes from. I guess that's, in my opinion, like that.
Because there have been like American companies like Google, they've used Hatsune Miku, and they've showed, what Hatsune Miku is about in this Google Chrome advert for Japan. Why do you think they haven't necessarily brought that over to the US, where Google's kind of there?
I don't know. Maybe they thought people wouldn't accept that, or it wouldn't be like, successful or anything. So I guess that's how it worked.
Because even then, Miku's on like rally cars, and she's like painted on race cars, and things like that, and she's even, starred in a Toyota commercial in the US. So yeah. Which is kind of weird, because Hatsune Miku is supposed to be a vegetarian, isn't she? Or isn't she not? I think.
Well, to be honest, I think she eats everything, but her favorite food is negi.
Because I heard
yeah, I can't really
that
tell.
she's a vegetarian, and that's what I heard. And then she's talking about hot dogs, and I'm like, what the hell?
Well, American culture.
Yeah, but I don't like how they have to adapt Hatsune Miku to a different culture, because it's kind of, then she won't be Miku. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That's like saying, oh, let's make Hatsune Miku's favorite food hot dogs. Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course, I see.
It'll be very odd.
Yeah, it was also very odd for me, because I was like, why do they do that? I mean, I accepted the fact that they used her for Toyota commercials, but hot dogs? Like, really? I mean, I'm not putting down hot dogs or anything, but like, was that really so necessary?
See, that's something I don't necessarily understand, but it's a choice made by Toyota, and I can't really blame them.
I guess it was like something to show that Japanese people also like American food or anything. I have no idea what they thought.
I think the main reason is because, if they're like, oh, let's bring like a leak, people won't understand, because not many people know of Hatsune Miku in America. So I think this was kind of way to, like, a marketing thing to kind of bring Miku further to the US. Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course.
Make them more familiar to Hatsune Miku. So they need that kind of American culture within that kind of thing. Another thing is, like, she's on pretty much everything. Like I said, there's like official art. There's even loads of people are doing Miku fan art, which is kind of cool. And like, I think in Sapporo, the snow festival, there have been people that have been carving out snow to look like Hatsune Miku.
Yeah.
See, so yeah. Now
I think that's like really awesome.
That is very awesome. Now, something I want to know is if you can compare Hatsune Miku to someone overseas, like someone that's famous, who would you compare Hatsune Miku to?
I never thought about that, to be honest. Like, you mean like how famous Miku is in Japan? You mean that?
Like comparing Miku's fame in Japan to someone's fame overseas.
Well, I guess like Rihanna or someone, I guess, because like Japan's like so based on those things like Vocaloid and everything, and the manga, anime and everything. So Miku's just like, she's like one of the topics of Japan, I think. Because you see, most song producers are from Japan, so I guess that also shows how famous she is. I mean, there's also overseas producers, but most are Japanese, I think.
Okay. Another thing is, do you think they'll ever make a Vocaloid anime, like an official one?
Oh, well, I've read about that, but I know that there's a manga, but anime, I don't really know, because it would be like unrealistic, because you would have to take voice actors.
The thing is, yeah, you have to take voice actors, but even Hatsune Miku's voice was based off real voices, so
yeah,
you can actually use those real voices.
Yeah, of course, but it wouldn't be the same, I think. You can take animated videos or movies or anything from music videos, but I don't think there's gonna be one, to be honest.
Because there's many possibilities. They could even use the software to kind of make that anime, instead of voice actors.
Yeah, I know, but they would have to. Do you know what Talkloid is? It's basically like a Vocaloid, but it's made for talking, I think. And they would have to turn all those Vocaloids into something like that, because, in my opinion, like if you hear a song and they're talking, it's made for the rhythm to fit, and it wouldn't be the same with those voices.
So, what do you think of a musical for Vocaloids? Because then you said you was talking about rhythms, so pretty much a musical has that kind of rhythm. So, what about Vocaloid musical? What do you think about that?
Well, that would be awesome, and I think that would be possible as well. It would be like the concerts, I know there's the Senbon Sakura musical, but it's with real actors, of course, and they are singing it as well. So, I mean, the people are singing it, not the Vocaloids. So, a musical wouldn't be bad, I think, and it would be possible, since it's actually with music, because anime, well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Moving on to these concerts that you were talking about now, for people that don't know, there were actually concerts in LA and all these other. I think there was a concert in Sapporo in Japan, and then Tokyo and other places as well. But I believe Miku's final concert was Tokyo last year, or something like that. What do you think about Miku's final concert, and do you think Krypton Future Media will kind of make more concerts in the future, like around the world, like a Miku tour, possibly, like maybe in London, maybe in like Munich or Paris or things like that? What do you think about that?
Well, about the world tour, I think if enough people would actually want that, I mean, there are already many people who really want that, me included, and if they have the money and everything, I guess they would do that. Otherwise they just continue doing concerts in Japan like they usually did.
Okay, ooh. This is an interesting question. Now, who is your favorite Vocaloid of all of the Vocaloids that Krypton Future Media do?
I swear, I knew this question would come up. To be honest, I don't really have a favorite Vocaloid, because I mean, there are some I prefer over some others. I mean, like, based on the voice, it's always based on the songs and everything. Like, if you take Screamos or rock or anything like that, I prefer Luca. But if it's like electronic music, it's Miku. And Len and Rin, well, I think they fit with classical music. And yeah, and Kaito and Meiko also with like electronical or rock. Yeah, I guess that's like how it works for me, because I mostly listen to that. Like, yeah.
Now, personally, I have to say, my favorite Vocaloid has to be Rin. I don't know why. It's just her voice is just so cool. You see what I mean? Like, I love the song Meltdown, and I love the song. Was that Rin, by the way? Because I get confused between Len and Rin.
Which one?
Like, Meltdown. Was that Rin's song? I think. No.
Meltdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her.
Yeah. So Meltdown. I like Kokoro. That was a nice song.
Yeah, I also love that song. It's so cute, and the story is also very touching, I think.
And there's a few other songs. You know, there's Remote Control. There's Never. There's all of these amazing songs made by those twins. But I'm saying twins in this kind of inverted commas, mainly because Krypton Future Media let the kind of music producer decide whether they're twins or they're lovers, which is, I think, it's kind of weird, personally, because there's some songs where they're treated as lovers, and there's some songs where they're treated as siblings, and there's even some songs where they're treated as both, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, I kind of prefer the sister-brother one.
So do I.
But it also depends on the song, of course. Like love songs, then of course it's always Rin and Len. Of course, lovers, that's like better than, you know, brother and sister, because you don't want to have brother and sister love each other.
The thing
I
is,
mean, you know, love each other, not like.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But what I prefer is, like, I would prefer Len and Gumi. They'll make a cool couple.
Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
I think Gumi. I never thought about Gumi being coupled with another one, because mostly I thought about Gumi's Kakupo, because they're like, I think they're from their same company. But then again, there's like Luca and Kakupo and everything, and you have so many choices to choose of. So there's not really a conclusion or anything.
Well, another Vocaloid I like is obviously Gumi, mainly because her design. It's not mainly her voice, because I think Miku could sing Gumi songs and Gumi could sing Miku songs. It's not really that much difference in their voices, personally. But I've only been like a fan of Vocaloid for a year, so I can't really comment on that. But mainly because she has that cool green hair, and my favorite color is green. So pretty much.
Yeah, but of course Gumi is cool, but Sonica, the Ingloid, also has green hair, which I
don't know who that is.
really love. Sonica is an English Vocaloid, like Sweet Anne or like Havana, which was like released a few months ago, I think.
I don't like English Vocaloids. I've been listening to a couple of them, like you said, Sweet Anne and things like that. But I prefer. There's only one English Vocaloid that I like. Which one do you think that is?
Luca.
Nope.
I think, because she also has an English word.
No. It's guess again.
Well, I have no idea. I would say Big L, but
yeah,
I'm not sure.
You're right there. He's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's attractive.
What design of Big Al though? Because there's two designs. There's his Taiwanese design, and there's his original design.
He has the Frankenstein one and the Taiwanese one, but I think both are great.
Well, what I like about Big Al is he kind of reminds me of this Cockney guy. Oh, from England, yeah. You know what I mean? Sounding like that. That's what he reminds me of personally. And also the song, Baby Bear. I like that song.
I don't really know that because I don't listen to Ingloid so often.
No, but it was with Rin. It was Rin and Big Al. So you should see that after this. After we record, you should just watch that.
What was it called? Baby Bear?
Yeah, Baby Bear. It's quite cute. I like it.
I only know Tokyo Teddy Bear.
I don't know what that is. Because mainly we listen to different kind of styles.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned before we were recording that you listen to a lot of screamos.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't like screamos because I don't want to listen to screamos in any sort of way, and I can appreciate that people do and people like screamos, but I prefer kind of the romantic kind of Vocaloid songs, the electronic mostly, because I'm a big fan of Daft Punk and electronic music and things like that. So it's nice to hear that. There's some dubstep ones, but it doesn't sound as good as Skrillex or Deadmau5. But
well, I think Skrillex is like an own type of music, because I wouldn't call Skrillex like dubstep, because it's like it doesn't really involve anything like except for this weep sounds. Like dubstep also has music in it, so those are like two different types of music for me. Because if you like take Miku's song Eden, which is dubstep, it's a really great tune and everything, and then you listen to Skrillex and you hear nothing but like those weird sounds. And I'm not like I hate Skrillex, but I'm not a big fan of it. Dubstep's like different for me.
I like Skrillex mainly because of those weird sounds, like halfway through the song it's like wah 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 wah, or
yeah, of course,
like randomly like call 911. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I like that song, to be honest. I love it.
That was a bit weird. That's where I thought like, wow, Skrillex, you've gone a bit weird. It's bad enough that he kind of shaved his hair and he looks weird, but he just
I don't care. But I don't care about the producer's looks, to be honest. I care about like if their music is good, then okay.
Oh no, yeah, but it's just weird looking at Skrillex and I'm like, wow, you look like something that came out of the sewers.
I guess that's what defines him. I mean,
Maybe.
like his music defines him and his looks and everything, I guess.
Yeah, it does, but at the same time, and I'm not gonna lie, I do love Skrillex, but he's just the way he looks. He looks like he should be decontaminated. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the other musicians that I like, Daft Punk and Deadmau5. They look cool because they got them awesome helmets and them kind of like that whole Deadmau5 thing looks awesome. Like it looks like kind of Mickey Mouse. I can't blame him. And it lights up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll ever be some sort of Vocaloid DJ? Like, do you think that Daft Punk was like, yeah, we want to use Vocaloid in our next album? You think they'll do that ever?
Well, I don't know if they even know about Vocaloid.
Oh no, they should do. It's being as big as them, for them not to know Vocaloid, because when you're high up in terms of being a music producer, you should kind of experience all these type of musics, and while you're searching to find this inspiration, you should be kind of looking at all of these kind of different things.
Well, yeah, of course, but then again, it's like if they like it, if they like the products, like I don't know if they know Japanese, because I mean, of course, it's like it's not as like Kaito English, of course, now, and they could use him. But yeah, it's about if they actually know about it or not. So I guess that's like, yeah, that's it.
Speaking of this whole English, and apparently there's different types. There's ways that you can make Vocaloid speak and sing like Chinese.
I know, yeah.
And so far, I've only found one Chinese song
From
for
which Vocaloid?
Miku. That's it. One Chinese song.
Oh. Yeah, but there's also a Chinese Vocaloid. I don't know if it's already done or if it's still being produced. I think Luo-Tianyi, I think it's called.
Sounds like a Dynasty Warriors character. Luo Yang. I'm searching
Yeah.
this up.
Well, that's what I thought, to be honest, but if you start playing Dynasty Warriors, you always get about that, and you think of whenever you hear something Chinese, you always think about Dynasty Warriors and all that stuff, and then you feel like, well, that's sad because all I know about China is Dynasty Warriors.
But that's the thing. If you want to know more about countries, if you want to know more about their cultures, yes, video games and Vocaloid and listening to that culture's music and eating that culture's food, that's something great to get involved with that culture.
Of course,
But there's a lot of other things that you could do. Not necessarily learn the language. If you really want to, you could, but do more things, like necessarily, do, for instance, if you want to get more involved in Chinese culture, there's books that you can read. There's Sangguo Yanye, there's Feng Cheng Ban, there's all of these books. There's Journey to the West. There's
the Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah, that was the one I mentioned at the beginning. Sangguo Yanye.
Yeah, I never read them. I feel so dumb.
If you really want to read it, there's actually an online version on the Dynasty Warriors blog. I'll give you that later.
I see.
It's a very interesting book. It's pretty well. Obviously, Dynasty Warriors is based off the Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
I know.
It's a very interesting book. You get to learn a lot more. There's a lot of people that read Romance of the Three Kingdoms and pick up Dynasty Warriors, and they're like, well, this is very inaccurate. But at the end of the day, Dynasty Warriors is just a game, and it's just video games. They're not supposed to be accurate.
Yeah, like, who would have ever fought with a harp,
Yeah, no, that's
like
quite weird. Or surf on people's bodies.
Yeah, or fight with a flute like Shenji.
There's people they're like, oh, this weapon wasn't even, like, there's a lot of people that they see the nunchucks in Dynasty Warriors and like, well, this weapon never existed. Do you know what I mean?
Nunchucks,
like,
maybe.
No, they never did actually exist in ancient China around that time. They came a lot later, but there's many people, they see that and they get put off by it. I don't see why that is. It's just video games at the end of the day, guys.
Yeah,
don't get too worked up.
Maybe they're like, they want something really accurate. They should probably play like something like, Kessen, I think.
No, Kessen is not historic. No, Kessen is
sorry.
not.
I never played that game.
I don't mean it like that, but it's the weirdest game, especially if you play Kessen 2. Like, this is the game that had Liu Bei fall in love with Diao Chan, and you find out later on in the game that Cao Cao and Liu Bei are brothers.
Oh, well, that's weird.
It's very weird. Like, this is Kessen, and there's all these crazy magic that you could do in this game. And Zhuge Liang's wife Yuo Ying is a weirdo. You should see the gameplay of that, because she's the ultimate weirdo. And Pang Tong, you see his face and he sounds like this, sounds very lazy. That's Pang Tong. Even Zhuge Liang, he doesn't really act as if he is Zhuge Liang. He acts like this kind of unwise young guy, although he is wise to some extent. And Wei Yan looks weird in this game. He has a scorpion on top of his head, and that is Kessen. So I think Kessen is a lot more inaccurate than Dynasty Warriors. But that's the thing, the inaccurate games are the most fun games.
Well, yeah, you mean like you can look at Sengoku Basara,
That game.
I think those are also like so inaccurate. Like, I don't think Nobunaga Oda was like ever like really a demon or anything.
No, he wasn't actually a demon. But there's like so many weird things, like Takarasu Honda like being a massive mech. That's weird.
Yeah, My first thought about was like, what? What's that? Why a machine?
And Ieyasu Tokugawa. Oh my! Why is Ieyasu young? Why is Ieyasu younger than Takarasu Honda? It's so weird. Takarasu Honda is supposed to be younger than Ieyasu, but
No, right?
it's weird. Personally, I actually haven't played the game. I've only watched the anime, which is kind of interesting.
Well,
Like, I saw Masamune
honest,
Date. It's just him and his 6 swords. Whoa.
yeah, it's the opposite for me. I played like I think all of the games except for that Kokubasara Cross game, like the 2D fighter. But other than that, I played like all of the other Sengoku Basara games, but I never watched the anime.
The anime is quite cool. I'm not gonna lie, because the way I actually got into the anime is, Michelle from Twitter, at Team Benevolence.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she actually told me about it, because I didn't really want to play the game. I really wanted to know a bit more about the game, so I decided to watch the anime, because, at the end of the day, the game looked cool, but, it didn't seem like the game I would play, and I don't think I'll ever play Sengoku Basara, mainly because I wouldn't say I'm a Dynasty Warriors fanboy, but I'm not. Yeah, it's very weird for me to play that game. Personally,
Yeah,
I don't think I would
it's
enjoy
just, it's Capcom, of course.
it. Yeah, it's not just that. It's just like it's the same
It's like
reason.
the gameplay and everything.
It's the same reason why I wouldn't play Ken's Rage. I'm not hating on Ken's Rage and I'm not hating on Sengoku Basara. It's just something I'm not necessarily used to, and it's the reason why I didn't play Samurai Warriors to begin with. Like, until I was kind of forced to play Samurai Warriors, and then I loved it. It's the same with Dynasty Warriors Gundam. I wouldn't want to pick up that game, and I'm a big fan of Gundam. But I don't know, it's just mainly because it's a hack and slash. I'm a big fan of hack and slash games. It's a weird kind of hack and slash. I'm not used to it. It's the same reason I wouldn't buy a One Piece game.
Yeah,
Warriors,
I know what you mean, because it's just so different and everything. But when I heard about Dynasty Warriors Gundam, I was like, wow, it looks cool, and I think my friends would even like it because, they're not like into Chinese or Japanese hack and slash things. But I think with Dynasty Warriors Gundam, I kinda, got them into playing it, but they never really were an expert at it.
The thing is, I think these games are only made I'm not only gonna say only made for the West, but it did appeal to a lot more Western fans, because there are a lot of fans in the West that are fans of Gundam, that are fans of One Piece. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
It's the same with like Naruto. Like, it's doing very well over here. It's doing better than Dynasty Warriors over here, and it's doing better than a lot of other games over here. Mainly because there's a lot of people that watch Naruto, and there's a lot of people that watch the manga for Naruto Shippuden.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it really depends on what the country likes. And it's the same with when we were gonna get Dynasty Warriors 8 overseas. It really all depended on whether people overseas would actually buy the game.
Yeah, and it was like about, can it come for Xbox 360? Can it have English voice actors and all that stuff?
Speaking of English voices, I'm not allowed to say whether there is going to be English voices, but let's just say I can't focus on the confirm here, nor deny that there is English voices. So, yeah, they're not actually allowed to, like voice actors and things, they're not actually allowed to say. So many people have, when they're asked, oh, Dynasty Warriors 8 has been announced, is there going to be English voices? Some of them will say no. And some of them...
Of course, because that's like a secret.
Yeah, no, some of them won't actually tell you. And then there's
you can't just shout it into the world like, hey, look, Dynasty Warriors 8 will have English voices and everything. You can't just do that, because it would kind of like, ruin the surprise or anything.
Well, there have been a couple of voice actors that have kind of mentioned that there is, like, there's one guy who's like, yeah, I'm the voice of Dong Zhuo.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
So it kind of ruins it. So now...
Well, I don't care about the English voices, to be honest, anyways, because I always prefer the Japanese ones, because those are like much better for me.
Thing is, you say you always prefer the Japanese ones, but Dynasty Warriors games you've always played in English.
Well, yeah, because I had no other choice. Well, Dynasty Warriors 5 was only in English.
So speaking of Dynasty Warriors, what was your first Dynasty Warriors game?
Dynasty Warriors 2.
Oh, just like me. Now, there's a lot of people that actually haven't played Dynasty Warriors 2.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Now, Dynasty Warriors 2 was a beast of a game. Like, if it was on the PlayStation Marketplace, I would buy that game and I'll play it so much that my PlayStation breaks. That's how much I'll play that game, because I bought 3 copies of that game when I was 6 years old. And I destroyed... And the thing is, I wasn't even playing any other story mode. I was just playing the Way story mode with one character. And I played so much with one character that I just pretty much destroyed 3 copies of the game. And that character
you already told me that, I know.
That character was Dian Wei.
Oh, whenever I was playing with Dian Wei, and I was like, you know that axe you get when the attack is up for 30 seconds? I was like, wow, he has to get that because he fights with an axe too, and you know. So whenever I had whenever I had a different character, I never actually picked the axes up.
I did the same thing.
But eventually,
this will make your axe more powerful.
Yeah, eventually I was like, you know what? I might just take that axe because it's at Hula Gate. I wanna beat Lubu for the first time in my life.
Well, the way I did it was I thought that you had to defeat every officer in the game. That's how I thought about Dynasty Warriors, and I was like, okay, there's Lubu. And he was kind of a piece of cake. He was very simple for me, and I was 6 years old at this time, and I was kind of playing on, I think, normal. And obviously, Lubu, if I played it now, Lubu was kind of buffed up. It's like, yeah, I'm Lubu, yeah. But, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Very, very difficult for a 6-year-old to beat Lubu. But, you know, I found it like, yeah, it's just Lubu. Like with every other... That's the reason I didn't play as any other character. Because for me, Dian Wei was the only character to defeat Lubu. And the way I did it was, I did square, square, triangle, square, square, triangle. So I threw my axe, and then Lubu would get stunned, and then I would hit him again and do the same thing. And that was my method of defeating Lubu, and I didn't know that you can actually go around Lubu.
Yeah, it was like I didn't even want to go around because it was like, you know, it was like something special because when you beat him, you got that sword, you know, which raises your attack with 8 points or anything, I think. And I was like, yeah, I need that. I really need that because I want to level my characters up, you know. So that was kind of like for me. Sorry for swearing, but I was like, screw what Yuan Shao says. I'm gonna beat him now. Don't giving a
Another
crap.
thing is, speaking of Dynasty Warriors 8, it is coming out on the 12th of July 2013, and you guys within the UK can purchase your copy of Dynasty Warriors 8 from Game, the game retailer. They're awesome bunch of guys. They got free UK delivery on everything, and the game is out on the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Of course, you can pre-order it for free. If there is any pre-order bonuses, I think you will receive them. Unfortunately, I don't think there is at the current moment in time. But pricing is, for Xbox 360, it will cost you £40. I'm rounding up to the nearest pound. So £40. And for the PlayStation 3, it's £30. So I actually haven't seen any other retailer selling Dynasty Warriors 8 on the PlayStation 3 for £30. So if you want to save £10 on your PlayStation 3 copy, buy it from game.co.uk, guys. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know about America. All I know is Game. You can buy it from there. In America, try Amazon. And I would say the same to overseas, mainly because there's GameStop, but GameStop don't really sell these games. And if they do, they're kind of expensive. Yeah.
I was like, because my favorite game store here sells Warriors Orgy 3 Hyper for the Wii U, and I was like, wow, that's the first time I ever see a Warriors title in that store. Like, really.
The reason that is because that game was a release title for the Wii U. So not having that, and you know, some Wii U bundles kind of bundle that game in. So you know, without having that game, it's like saying, oh, well, you can't have a PlayStation 2 without Dynasty Warriors 2, because that's how a lot of people started with Dynasty Warriors, and of course with SSX as well. They kind of play that game because it was the first game on the PS2. It's the same with Kessen. It's the same with a range of other games, and that's personally how I got involved in Dynasty Warriors.
Well, I was like over at my friend's place, and I searched like through his PS2 games, and I found nothing like really interesting for me. And then I found Dynasty Warriors, and I was like, what's that game? At first I thought like it was like Final Fantasy because I don't know, it looked like it for me. And then I put it in, and when I started playing it, I was like, wow, this game is so awesome. And I don't know, I think my first character was one of the Wu officers. I don't know, I think Sun Sheng, I think.
Yeah.
And that's actually how I got into Dynasty Warriors, and then I borrowed it and played it a bit, and I gave it back, and then some years later I found Dynasty Warriors 5 in the store, and I bought it, and the first character I chose was Shenji. Because she was like such a beautiful woman, and I love playing with women. It's like a habit for me.
Wow, hey.
I don't mean to sound sexual or anything, but it's like that
was
because
the whole point. Yeah.
it's like that. So
people are gonna download this episode,
Yeah.
and they're just gonna take that bit where you just said, "Oh, I love playing with women," and they're just gonna put it on an infinite loop, because a lot of people were doing that with the Chinosode, and I think they're gonna do that with this. I think I should do that. I should just take out that little bit and just put it on an infinite loop on my YouTube channel.
I love playing with women. I love playing with women.
Yeah, and then it's like it's not supposed to be sexual, but you know, there you go.
You're gonna put it on your Tumblr.
Yeah, I don't think I will. Mainly because I don't use Tumblr a lot.
I dare you to.
Yeah. So, yeah. And another thing, we were talking about Dynasty Warriors a lot. The thing is, I talk about Dynasty Warriors too much, and a lot of people don't like that. That's why I'm doing this Vocaloid episode. So let's get back to Vocaloid. Let's talk about the Project Diva games. What is it?
Well, it's basically a game where many songs from many different producers are being put into one game, and not only that you have the music, but you also have the Vocaloids performing to it, and you also have gameplay. Like, you have 4 difficulties, like easy, normal, hard, and since Project Diva 2nd, you also have extreme, which was, well, it was sometimes hard, sometimes not, but yeah, you can also just watch the music video without playing it, so that game's cool. And for the PSP, you also have those Diva rooms where you can interact with the Vocaloids. Same with the PS Vita, Project Diva F. You can, I don't know, touch their nose and everything. So yeah, that sums the games up. There's also DLC and everything. But yeah. That's how I would put it.
Now, many people don't actually might not necessarily understand like the Project Diva game. It's pretty much like a rhythm-based game. Like, there's like buttons on the screen. I would compare it to, in the West, I'll compare it to Guitar Hero. Kind of.
Well, yeah, except for you don't have a guitar in your hand, you're just using the controller.
But they did make a specific pad for this game, like you can
Yeah,
necessarily
of
do that.
course it. Yeah, they did. I saw it, and it's basically for those who don't get to play the arcade version, because there's also an arcade version, which only has 4 buttons like triangle, cross, and circle, square. But the one for your home, you also have the up, right, down, and left buttons, so it will be easier.
So you mentioned an arcade version. Like, do you actually in Japan they actually have these in arcades?
Yeah.
Ah, that's quite awesome. Like over here,
Lots.
especially in the UK, we have this arcade called Trocadero in London, and there's a lot of Sega games, and there's like some import Sega games and things in their arcade machines, but we don't actually see Project Eva there, which is a shame. You know what I mean?
Well, I read that in the United States, there is actually one arcade put up, but I don't know exactly where. I just read that on the Facebook site, and I was like, that's cool, but why doesn't it come overseas anyways? Like, everywhere.
Speaking of coming overseas, the game is apparently supposed to come overseas, depending on how many people like the Facebook page and share the kind of Sega Facebook thingy.
Yeah.
So, do you think that will happen?
Well, it depends on Sega, because I'm scared that if they bring it overseas, not many people will buy it. There's always those people who say, yeah, I will buy it, and I'll buy the DLCs and everything, but then even those people who buy it, that's not enough for actually making much money, At least that's what I think, because Project Eva games are not like as famous here as in Japan, where they like sell those million copies in like one day, I think.
It really does depend on how Sega's going to do it, because with Sega, a lot of the games tend to be popular because the way they market them. If they're going to show TV ads, like there's Sonic ads on TV, there's all these, on the side of the Sega building in London, there's a massive kind of picture of Sonic, like stuck to the thing. So Sega overseas kind of focus more on Sonic and things like that, rather than other games that are necessarily more popular in other countries. So it really does depend, like I said, on whether the fans over here will decide to buy it. And even they're not going to take it off the shelves after they kind of produce the game, after they translated the menus and things. And especially after showing a game at E3, you can't say, nope, we're not going to do it, because they did show it at E3 last year.
Well, yeah, but that was the Vita version, and that was just like, for people to see which other games Sega produces, I think.
It was a kind of thing to see if Project Eva was gonna do well over here, and there was a lot of people. They're like, this game looks awesome, and they actually did go to the E3 thing, and they did see it, and they did get to try the game. So I think it will do well overseas, but I think it could do better if Sega decided to change the person they're publishing with, because normally Sega publishes themselves their own games 9 times out of 10. I think they should go with Activision to publish this game.
Well, it also depends on the advertising and everything.
It does, but what I'm saying is, if you let Activision necessarily publish a game, I think it would be, because Activision would bring a lot more things, because obviously Activision have a lot of money, let's just put it that way. And you always see these Call of Duty adverts and World of Warcraft adverts and all of that. It's like, that's down to Activision. Obviously they are publishing the games, and that's how it goes. They publish the game. So if you let if Sega give some sort of publishing rights to Activision, I think they can make this game. I wouldn't say, obviously they don't actually change the game's integrity, but they can add some things to the game, and like add new ideas, add some sort of marketing element, and to kind of make the game more popular overseas. And I think after a while, I think Sega should actually kind of give the rights to the game to actually produce the game to Activision, because I think Activision are, you know, they know how to make rhythm games. You know, we've seen DJ Hero, we've seen Guitar Hero, and they're very popular games, and I know many people want to see them. So I can kind of imagine a Vocaloid DJ Hero game or a Vocaloid based Guitar Hero game with the help of Sega, with the help of Activision.
Yeah, but then again, you also have to count in those people who are like, oh, that's Japanese, I don't want to buy Japanese stuff. And it's like, why are you doing this? Like, why would you even say something like that?
No, but there's a lot of people like that, but then they go out and buy Final Fantasy and they're like, well, no, Final Fantasy is not Japanese.
Yeah, because that's like, they have English voice actors.
But not necessarily. There's just people tend to forget that most games were actually made by Japanese people. Even Nintendo, like Super Mario, that's a Japanese game.
Yeah, I know, but in the end, it's like the, I think, Italian boy, man, then in Final Fantasy, those fantasy guys talking English, and even Super Mario is talking English like, it's me, Mario! And
that was quite cool. That sounded kind of like Baby Mario, though.
Well, yeah, I'm a baby, of course.
Oh wait, say "Let's go" in Mario's accent.
Let's go!
Wow.
My voice is too high.
That's quite cool. I have to admit. It's a me, Mario!
You can do it better.
No, I don't think I can.
Yes, you can.
Luigi time! I don't like Luigi. He's always kind of Mario's skinny, taller brother. I don't know. I think he gets like bullied by Mario. He's like, well, you can't be in the games. The only games you're in is Luigi Mansion. It's not as popular as Galaxy.
I prefer Luigi over Mario.
Say what? No.
Yeah, it's like, you know, Luigi never has really been in the spotlight, like only for Luigi's Mansion, and he's always like titled as Super Mario's brother, and Super Mario's always like, it's me, Mario, and Luigi's like, you know, it's Luigi, meh. So it's like, for me, I feel kind of sad for Luigi.
I do. I feel sympathetic towards Luigi, but Luigi kind of deserves it. You know what I mean? Because you know, Luigi. We all know why Luigi isn't in the Mario games. We all know why.
I don't.
Because Luigi's getting out there, getting laid. That's what Luigi's doing. Mario's going over with Princess Peach, but we all know that Luigi did that like 10 years ago.
You mean like Luigi's out there, you know, getting laid with Peach, and Mario's like jumping on mushrooms and everything?
Yeah, look, Mario's getting high while Luigi's getting laid. That's how it works. Like, why don't you think we see Daisy and Luigi in the Super Mario games? We rarely see them. Do you know why?
Well, to be honest, I don't really like Daisy. I never really liked her. I don't know why. Whenever I saw her in the Mario Party games, I was like, oh, there's Daisy. Let's beat her shit up.
Wow.
I just don't like her. I don't know why. I prefer Peach.
No, but I don't like Peach. I don't like Peach. No, I don't know. I think what Peach is doing is she's kind of, hey Mario, I baked you a cake, and you're like, wow. Is that it? You baked him is that why you want him to come over? To bake you? Mario has better stuff to do. Mario has to, he has to do some plumbing. He needs a job. He needs to get off his addiction to those mushrooms, because after all, he has a family to feed.
Well, what I think is, I don't think Peach is getting captured. I think she's doing it on purpose to get, I don't know, to make love with Bowser.
Oh, no. Oh, that's nasty, man.
Well, that's what I think.
You ruined the Super Mario games.
You ruined it when you told me Luigi was
But that's the
think
truth,
Daisy.
though. But that's the truth, though. We all know Luigi's pimping himself out. That's Luigi. Luigi. Why do you think Luigi's taller? Why do you think Luigi's thinner? Because Luigi is the guy that goes to clubs every night. You know, every Friday night he's there. Or, all right, ladies, it's me, Luigi.
Or maybe he's like, well, F this, I'm going to my mansion and search some ghosts or anything.
No, he's not actually searching ghosts. That's his cover story. I could just imagine Luigi being this like cockney guy. Alright, it's Luigi, let's go. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of Luigi in a perverted way, like his mansion is like something, like a sex chamber or something.
Wow.
Thank you for ruining my mind.
You were the one that said that. I didn't say that. I said that Luigi was a cockney guy. That's cool. Yeah, 9 out of 10. Oh, Mario, you want some fish and chips? Oh, yeah, that's Luigi. He's not Italian Luigi. He's British Luigi. Yeah, he's probably the guy that watches out the football matches. Oh, come on, England. That's Luigi. That's Luigi's that guy. He tries and he's. People think he's Italian, but he's not Italian. He's pure British. That's what we know. No one knows that, though. Only me and you. Ah. Okay. Yeah. So we were talking about Luigi and what he does on his night out. Yeah. Like I said, we all know Luigi gets pissed. Gets drunk. You know, one night stands. That's what Luigi's all about. Like I'm saying, Luigi probably had like kids all around the world. It's not just baby Luigi. There's like so many of them.
Well, thanks for ruining my childhood.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I feel really honored.
Oh. But yeah, well, that's the truth though. That's what really happened. It explains a lot. It's like putting 2 plus 2
Nintendo.
Funny thing about Nintendo didn't always used to be a gaming company.
I once read that it possessed something like a loving or sex hotel.
Yes, that's what Nintendo was. It was a love hotel.
Oh my god.
So maybe they kind of implemented these kind of things into their games. I don't know. That's what Nintendo was. It was a Nintendo love hotel.
Secret messages in Pokemon games. Oh my god.
See, it's like, oh, Mario, I baked you a cake. Well, I don't think that's cake. Let's just put it that way.
Oh my god.
Alright. That's how it is, though. This is Nintendo. Now, a lot of people that are big fans of Nintendo are going to hate this. But that's the truth, guys. I'm sorry I ruined Nintendo for you. And even Nintendo knows. They have it like in a... oh my god, this is our top secret. No one needs to know. No one.
In the end, I don't care anyways. I'm gonna buy the Wii U and everything. So, yeah. Screw that fact.
Are you going to buy your Wii U?
Yeah, for I think Christmas or something. Because I want to play Bayonetta 2.
Okay.
And since it's a Wii U exclusive, I have no other choice to buy one.
Yeah, but they say it's a Wii U exclusive. I think that game is going to be out on the... When is it coming out, or is it already out?
No, of course, no, it's not out yet. They're still producing it and everything.
I think it's going to be on the next-gen consoles, because even with the Ninja Gaiden Razor's Edge, a lot of people were like, oh, we want to see this on the PlayStation and the Xbox 360. Of course, Tecmo Koei, being as awesome as they are, brought that over to the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 only a couple of weeks ago. So, we don't know. Maybe Bayonetta 2, if the people that make Bayonetta might think, okay, our fans want it on these consoles, let's do that. It might also explain why they're taking a long time to produce this game. They might be producing it for the next-gen consoles as well as the Wii U. We don't know.
Well, yeah, but it's like, you know, I think Nintendo saved Sega, because how it was.
Yeah. But the thing is, you were talking about, Nintendo kind of got that exclusivity, but it doesn't last forever. It doesn't. There's always some sort of contract, and I think Nintendo are kind of wasting their contract with the development of this game. And I think, yeah, maybe they made this kind of contract with Nintendo and saying, yeah, you guys are gonna have the game on this current gen. I don't know, they haven't actually taken into account, maybe they haven't actually taken into account the next generation, because the next generation of consoles are coming, and I'm hoping to see Bayonetta 2 on the PlayStation 4.
Well, yeah, then again, it would have to be like, once it's out, you have to wait like for the release of the next gen consoles, and then again, maybe like they said like, yeah, if it's out for the Wii, you can make the game for the next gen consoles like 2 years later.
No,
like something like that.
I don't think 2 years later they'll make the game for the next gen.
Yeah, I was just like,
that's a bit of an over exaggeration.
Yeah,
Maybe 2 months, because when you're making a game, you take into account let's make this game on more than one console, because Tecmo Koei, I'm not being rude here, but the fact that they announced that this game is also, Dynasty Warriors 8 is also coming on the Xbox 360, they must have worked on since the beginning making a port of an Xbox 360 version. Do you see what I mean? They must have been doing that from the beginning, or it would have taken a long time to make that port, because coding for the Xbox 360 and coding for the PlayStation 3 are two different things, because apparently it's easier to code on the Xbox 360 compared to the PlayStation.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Because I'm not like a technology expert or something.
Me neither. These are things that I've heard. So, yeah.
Tecmo Koei games for Xbox, I'm like, I mean, it's like it's really exclusive in Japan, and they automatically think that it's gonna be exclusive to PS3 for overseas as well. Maybe they just wait for it and see. But you see, Jin and Tecmo Koei also did that tweet thing, like retweet if you are a Dynasty Warriors fan and you have a Xbox or whatever. And now it's coming for Xbox as well. So.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't really mind. Like, I was one of the people that bought a PlayStation 3 mainly for just in case if the Dynasty Warriors games don't get released on the Xbox 360, because I was upset when I didn't see Extreme Legends and then when I didn't see Empires. But then I bought PlayStation 3 and I got to play Extreme Legends and I got to play Empires. Of course, Empires isn't as good. I don't know, but that's my opinion. But Dynasty Warriors 8, that's, if people think, I'm upset that the game is not coming out on Xbox 360, but if you're a true fan, you'll go out of your way to buy the game. Doesn't matter where, because there's people that buy the game from Japan. Do you see what I mean? And I consider them. Again. Okay, I understand that not a lot of people can afford those kind of things, but if you're, you have to think about it in advance. And I know a lot of people, they will buy the Xbox 720, and a lot of people will buy the PlayStation 4, especially TK fans. But you really need to prioritize in terms of gaming. Like, we've already announced that, it's already been announced that Dynasty Warriors, that Tecmo Koei is going to be one of the developers for the PlayStation 4. So, people should take that into account and say, okay, if I want Dynasty Warriors on the PlayStation 4, if I want another Tecmo Koei game on the PlayStation 4, and it will definitely be on the PlayStation 4, it might not be on the Xbox, and I have to go make a decision and say, yeah, I'm going to buy this on the PlayStation. So, yeah, guys, there was a lot of, what was it called? Interruptions in terms of the internet and stupid Skype. I don't know, maybe it was just too much epicness. They couldn't handle it, the Skype servers, so I'm very sorry about that. We're going to have to wrap up this episode, but if you guys want to see Zombie again, just tweet me at GetLifePodcast, and of course you can tweet at ZombieDesu13 and tell us how this episode went. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, we want your opinions. Now, that's going to be awesome. If you didn't like it, that's cool. That's fine. But if you liked it, most probably we'll have Zombie on again to talk about other things, maybe, depending on what you guys want. And to end off this episode, Zombie, would you like to say anything?
Well, it was an honor to be on your podcast. I loved it. And yeah, thank you.
See, what a polite young man, I have to say. Yeah, it was. You say it's an honor to be on the podcast. It was actually an honor to have you, because I remember watching your YouTube videos, and that's how I found out about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's pretty much an honor to have you on the podcast. So it's awesome.
Thank you.
And also, guys, remember, if you want to pre-order your copy of Dynasty Warriors 8 in the UK with free UK delivery on everything and a free pre-order with maybe pre-order bonuses, be sure to pre-order from your local game store or online at game.co.uk. Just type in Dynasty Warriors 8 and you'll find it there. Also, I will be doing videos soon, along with my sister. She'll be doing some videos. And I'll be doing some SSX gameplay, not SEX, unfortunately. Some SSX gameplay, so some snowboarding games. It should be good. And if you guys want to see some Dynasty Warriors gameplay, I'm not going to be doing Empires, mainly because everyone and their dog are doing Dynasty Warriors Empires gameplay. So I'll probably wait for Dynasty Warriors 8 to come out to do some gameplay commentaries on that. Yeah. Also, I'll pretty much do any games that I want to do. Yeah. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. See you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.
This is Chie Tanaka, and you've been listening to Get a Life Podcast. I hope that means you got a life. Besides, you gotta eat more meat.